This is sort of a lighthearted question. Obviously, the set on the show is amazing. There's a lot of details to it, and you guys interact with it every day. Do you or any of the other actors ever have any mishaps with the set? Or if you don't, what is your favorite part of the set?
It's big, man. It's big. I mean, first season I was running around the planet, so I was never there. So I can't even tell you. When I got there second season, I was actually working in the studio a lot. I was lost always, man. If I went into Galactica, I'd be roaming hallways. They'd be looking for me. I was tapping on pipes. They lost Helo all the time. I had no idea where I was going. It took a while. It's a big set. Mishaps, I don't know. There's so many great rooms. I mean, I know that Grace and I were trying to add to our little quarters a little bit when once we got in there. They started adding some nice little pictures and things like that. We wanted to add our own touches. But yeah, not so many mishaps. Not for me personally.
Just real quick, I love sneaking in the landing bay, so Zarek can crawl in one of the Vipers and remember another life.
Now that y'all have seen the finale, maybe possibly you could lend some insight into the question. In the remaining screen time that we have in season 4.5, has it been written and shot to wrap up the big A storylines? Just a couple of examples. Sharon Helo's baby, what's Adam's big secret? Is this really our Earth? Or have the writers engineered to leave a little bit hanging after the finale for the fans to chew on? Or possibly some trapdoors and bolt holes for possible other material after the finale?
Well, I'm not going to give you anything. I mean, that's asking a whole lot, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've never been known to give a spoiler, and I'm not going to start now, but I'll tell you this. I understand.
Are they going to wrap it up? They're going to leave a little bit hanging for us.
There's definitely going to be some hanging, right? I mean, it wouldn't be done properly if it was just everything came to a conclusion. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be some questions, but yeah, I think a lot of things will be wrapped up for sure. Yeah.
But I think what the question kind of, maybe what you're asking is there any opportunities for other things to happen later? Is that what you mean? Because there'll be some open doors for that?
Partially, yes.
Yeah. I think that there are, possibilities. I mean, you can go backwards and forwards in time. There's many things you can do. So I would hope this is a story for me that has so much topography to cover. And they certainly have covered some very important areas, but I think there's a lot more that could be covered, and hopefully this will go on in some form.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for Tahmoh. First game I got for the Xbox 360 was Need for Speed Carbon, and you can imagine my surprise when
Darius.
when I see the guy that's playing Helo, that's the starring role. Just curious if you have any funny anecdotes from friends, family, crew who may have challenged you in the game, and if you got any tips, I could really use them. Thank you.
And what was the last part? What did you say?
He wishes if you had any tips, you'd tell him.
Oh, man. I'll be honest with you. When the PS3 came out, I got excited. When I was in junior high and maybe the first part of high school, I was into video game systems. I used to love playing video games when I was younger, and then just discovered I don't have the time to play video games. But when the PS3 came out, I went and bought it. Got very excited about it, bought a bunch of games, played it one night for 3 hours. It's amazing like where video games have come to now. They're incredible, but I just don't have the time to sit and crack out for 3 hours. I can't do it. I've got to be outside. I feel bad. I need to exercise or spend time with people. But that game was really, man, I can't tell you. The UCAP technology, I don't know if you know anything about it, but ultimately, after they've done the complete 4D scan, 3D scan of your head, they load it in this massive computer system, and then you go into this tiny little booth, which just has basically like 1,000-watt light bulbs surrounding you. I don't know how many of them, like 40 of them. And you sit in the booth for 4 to 5 hours and do these lines for the video game, and you basically have your eyeballs burnt out of your head. It's a really painful and slow process. In the first hour, I was like, this is going well, this is great. And then I started realizing the second hour, I'm like, they were running in every 5 minutes with eye drops for me, and you're sweating, and you can't move too fast because the computer can't keep up, because it's literally doing an animated version of your head while you're moving and doing these lines. So I'm trying to be all expressive and pretend I'm racing another driver and laughing at him and stuff, but I can literally only move my head this much. And if I smile too much, they're like, "Oh, a little too much for the computer. Slow it down, slow it down." Anyway, so I played the game once. I've only seen some of the stuff I've done on it. I definitely don't have any tips. I wish I did, but a lot of people are still surprised when they buy the video game. They're like, "Dude, was that you in the game?"
My question is, one of the things I love about Battlestar is I've always known where they're going with it, which is pretty unusual. So, with your characters, how much lead time do they give you on your character arc, or are you going from script to script? Did they ever sat down and said, "This is where we're going to go with your character," so you kind of know how to prepare for things?
I think some of the leads on the show have had those conversations with Ron and David to an extent, like not a full arc, like third season we're going to be doing this and having this conversation in first season. I haven't really. Most of us pretty much go script to script, but there's been some times where you have an idea of what's going to happen. Maybe 2 episodes ahead or something like that. But other than that, it's like we're almost like you guys. It's like script to script, man. We get those scripts and we're just like, oh my god. You're going through it, you're trying to read it, you want to make sure you're not being killed. And
it's really true. You hurry through the script to the end to see if your character goes out an airlock. I promise you. And the biggest, scariest thing is that even when you get the script and you think you know what's happening, you don't. Because for a week leading up to the shoot, you get the script about 4, 5, 6 days ahead. And every day you get these changes. You get massive changes sometimes.
Massive changes.
Sometimes you think the massive changes are the first or second day, during the course of the week, and as they get closer to the shooting, they make smaller, more subtle changes. But that changed this year. I started seeing these massive changes coming up at the last minute. I was doing a scene, and I think it was 9 o'clock at night with Jamie, and all of a sudden I got this scene for something I was doing in the morning. And it was like this 4-page scene with massive dialogue, that came out of nowhere. And essentially I got home at about 11 o'clock and I had to get up at 5 in the morning and learn massive amounts of dialogue. And believe it or not, it's not about memorizing something. You got to get to a point where you're not even thinking about the words. So that was the most terrifying moment of my life. But I realized, anything is possible when you, have to do it. But this show really, especially this season, I think, just because of all the course changes. Sometimes they make course changes halfway through the writing. They decide to go in another direction. So you have to be open for anything.
Tahmoh needs to leave. Please join me in thanking him for coming today.
You guys, thank you so much, man. I can't tell you how supportive the fans have been over the course of the series. I've just met some incredible people with beautiful things to say, and we wouldn't be a success without you guys, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for making this con so excellent.